So, Paris, what's
Yes.
the biggest amount of money you've ever saved someone by reviewing and or requoting their insurance policy?
Well, most recently, $3,100 a year that I've saved a person. Um,
3,100.
yeah, it was actually a person that called me a couple of days ago, and she hmm, was paying around $5,000 a year with insurance, and with the car and the home, I was able to bring it down $3,000.
That's pretty significant.
It is. It is. Definitely when I have a nice panel of carriers to look at.
Yeah.
So it's not only just one. Oops, excuse me. It's not only just one, but it's several carriers that I can find that has the best coverage and the lowest price.
Okay. So, Parris Patten with Comparion Insurance, you're a broker, right?
That's right.
Okay. And you can compare a lot of different companies and get somebody in the right fit there.
That's right. And we're talking about car insurance, homeowners insurance, umbrella policies, renters insurance, several insurance types of
Okay.
policies.
Boats,
Boats as well, yes.
golf carts.
Golf carts we insure as well too.
Okay, because golf carts are a big deal. Sometimes in the beach communities, everybody has a fancy golf cart that they use. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes we can insure them on their own, or also we can add them to your
Okay.
homeowner's policy as an endorsement.
Oh, okay.
So you have choices.
All right. Well, back to the $3,000. Did that person have like separate insurance for her car and home, like separate companies?
No, they had the same company, but what
But
I
okay.
had to do is actually separate it out because a lot of times when you try to bundle, sometimes with one company they're great at the car insurance, but then they're awful at the homeowner's insurance rate. So
Wow.
I was able to find a company that was great with the car insurance, and then a different company, separate company, that was great with the homeowner's insurance.
So you took the time to figure out what was going to be the best deal for them.
Correct. Now, the best thing about that is I am their agent for both companies.
Okay.
So they're calling me if anything happens, goes wrong, or if they have any questions about their policies.
And you can fix it.
Yes.
Okay. That's great. And I know for myself, we have done a lot of brokers opens. I send a lot of clients your way to review, just check. It's always good to just check, right? Like people can just
Exactly.
review it and make sure they're getting the best price and the best coverage.
Yes, a while ago, I used to be a captive agent where I can only sell one company. Now I have access to several companies, so when a customer says, "Oh, my rate went up, Paris, what do you think we can do?" I can look at that company, but then I can also shop around for them. I can be their own personal
Yeah.
shopper, and so they'll still be with me as their agent, but I might switch them to another company if that needs
Right. So
be.
they don't have to do the calling around. You can do it for them.
Exactly. So they can do what they do best, and I do what I do best, which is
Okay.
insurance.
Yeah, and recently we switched coverage with your company as well because we found out we got a new vehicle and they didn't cover our vehicle. So I called you right away. You took care of it. And that's another thing when I send clients your way and stuff, you're very responsive. And you went through the policy with me, not to upsell, but to give me strong recommendations that would allow us to make decisions on how we wanted our policy. So I appreciate that. It was like an extra step or an extra
hmm
like, hey, you're here and you care about the person's decision and wanted them to be aware of certain things.
Yeah,
So,
what I like to do is actually show and review what you currently have and show what I would um, like you to have.
yeah.
In my professional opinion, I show you the difference and I explain the differences,
Yeah.
and it's up to you to make the decision.
Yeah.
So at least you know. And sometimes you have lower coverage and you need to be up to a higher coverage, but it costs more money to be up to that higher coverage. But there's, coverages in between, so you can work your way up.
Well, we took your advice. So
Thank you.
yeah, for sure. And we're happy we did. So, so when we get into real estate part of it,
Mhm.
how early should buyers start talking with an insurance agent during their home buying process?
The best time is when they actually sign a contract on the home that they want.
Okay.
Because I think normally it takes about 30 to 60 days for it
Okay. Yeah.
to actually close on the home.
Yeah.
And if you shop too early, that insurance price can change by the
Okay.
time you go to closing. So you don't want to shop too early, but then you don't want to shop at the last minute where you're
Yeah.
forced to make a decision. So when you sign that contract and you say, this is the home I want, then I can focus on that home, go over some coverages, take the time with you so we're not rushed, because what this is, it's a relationship.
Good
After
point.
the sale is done, I'm the guy that they're going to be calling if something goes wrong. If
Yeah.
a tree falls on the house, like I recently had a client call me about, when their kids grow up and learn how to drive and want to be put on the policy, I'm the person that's going to be talking to them. So it's good to have a good relationship and not rushed before the closing.
So if something does go wrong, they're going to call, clients can call you and you will
Definitely,
help handle it.
I recommend it
Okay.
where if they have a question about putting in a claim, and I'll go over the pros and cons about putting in a claim, ultimately it's up to them. But if they call directly to the company, a lot of companies have to put in a claim first before they answer that question.
I see. That's happened to me before a long time ago. But yeah, even if someone's asking questions about a claim, it still goes in as a claim.
Exactly, and that's on your record. So if you do want to shop around, they're going to see this claim, which means you're not going to get the best rate.
Wow.
So what I try to do is help you out and make the best decision.
That's great. That's wonderful. So when we talk about what impacts insurance premiums the most, like for a home, what kind of things do you think would impact that premium?
The first thing I ask these days, how old is your roof?
The roof,
Because the
okay.
roof has a major impact on what insurance company you do get and what the price will be, and if you can get insurance. A lot of companies shy away from homes that have 20-year-old roofs or older.
So they don't want to cover it?
Some companies don't.
Wow.
Some companies don't cover it if it's 15 years old or older.
Wow.
So that's the first question I ask. So then I can try to find out, hey, when are you going to get that replaced if you are planning to get that replaced? If not, I have other companies that we can look at. But if there is a time, then I can say, hey, this is going to be a temporary fix until you get that replaced. And then we can look at some other rates after that.
Wow. So is there a cutoff for the age of the roof, do you think? Like if it's older than 10 years or?
Well, 25 years for the regular shingle roofs. I think it's
Okay.
30 years for a metal roof.
Okay. Okay. And that's important for both buyers and sellers because if a seller is trying to sell a home with an older roof, then their buyer pool might be having some issues getting insurance.
Exactly. So what happens is the seller takes a longer time to sell that home. And
'Cause-
who knows
yeah.
what they might be under the gun to try to sell it to move on to their next step in life. Where if we know up front how old the roof is, we can kind of take care of that in the beginning and not
Right.
wait till the last minute. Like some people like to wait till the last minute. They don't think about us insurance agents until it's time to close.
Yeah.
So as soon as you sign that contract, give me a call.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll put the contact info. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but we'll put the contact info in the description too. We'll have all that stuff for you guys to get connected. So whether you're buying a home or not, it's always good to review the policy. How often do you recommend people review their policy?
Once a year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If they forget, twice a year. And they can just give me a call and I would review it with them. It only takes maybe about 10, 15 minutes because I'm so good. I know how
Yeah.
to explain it and they understand it. So we're not on the phone too long.
Okay. And then do insurance companies run people's credit?
We run insurance scores, which include credit as well as claim history.
Okay.
And of course, claim history is going to give you a higher premium.
Okay.
So, yes, it does affect.
Okay. So if a seller, so we'll go back to real estate, when a seller is selling a home and they had an insurance claim, does that affect the buyer?
In most companies, if the seller has the claim, it doesn't affect the buyer's
Okay.
insurance. Some companies do, but very minor. I don't deal with those companies.
Okay.
So it's more on the buyer. Have they had a claim in the past that will affect the home? And that's
Okay.
also renter's claims, too, if they had a
Okay.
renter's policy.
Okay. And you do renter's insurance?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So what upgrades or features can actually help lower insurance?
Okay, so if you get a central monitoring service, you have deadbolt locks, smoke detector, fire extinguisher, that automatically lowers the premium.
Okay.
Some people like the Ring doorbell cameras. Those are nice to have as well. That reduces rates.
Okay, so although, because I know sometimes you ask a lot of those questions, do you have these things, but you're asking those because they can get a discount for it.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So can you explain the difference between replacement cost versus actual cash value?
Yes, replacement costs. Let's talk about replacement costs on your personal property, your things, TV, furniture, clothes, things like that.
Okay.
So let's say you bought a furniture set for $2,000 10 years ago. Now with today's prices, that same set might cost you $3,000.
Okay.
So there's a fire, it burns up. We're going to pay the $3,000, not the $2,000 that you paid on it years ago. So that's replacement cost. That's what
Okay.
things cost today. Now actual cash value, let's say that same set that you bought for $2,000 depreciates over time to maybe $800. So if you have an actual cash value policy, they're going to pay you the $800, not the $3,000 because that's replacement costs.
Okay, so who determines which cost value they're going to use?
Well, I usually determine that because I
Okay.
usually give everyone replacement costs. I just include it in the policy
Okay.
and go over it with you. And I can show you the price without it. And you're going to say, you know what, keep that in there. It
Yeah,
makes
okay.
sense.
So you're keeping our best interest in mind.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. All right. And I noticed that I actually called the insurance company the other day. I just had a quick question about deductibles. I didn't remember. We were in a hurry, so we were last minute in a hurry because we found out the insurance company we had wouldn't cover it. So I couldn't remember what the deductible was that we had put in or that you had put in. And, I know we talked about it, but it was zero. It was zero. So I was like, hey, again, looking out for our interest. And I was like, okay, good. So we're set there. But talking about deductibles, how does that influence pricing?
Okay, the more money that you're willing to put out of your pocket if something goes wrong reduces the cost of your insurance. So let's say you have a homeowner's insurance policy and you choose to have a $5,000 deductible. Your premium on your home is going to be a lot lower than if you chose to have a $500 deductible.
Okay.
Because you're choosing to pay out less out of your pocket if something goes wrong. So you're going to pay more on the insurance side.
Right. So if somebody wants that higher deductible to save money, but they need to make sure that if something happens that they have that money to put towards, resolving it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'm able to save people money when they switch insurance companies. And I usually make the suggestion, why don't you put that savings into a savings account so if something does happen, you have the money for that deductible
That's a good point.
if
Yeah.
it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Nowadays, most insurance agents offer a $2,500 deductible to start. It used to be $1,000, and then before that, I've been in the business for 33 years.
Oh,
It used to
okay.
be $500. Then it moved up to $1,000. Now
Okay.
we're up to $2,500 because things have gotten so expensive
Yeah.
in the last 5 years so fast.
Yeah.
So that's why it kind of crept up to $2,500 is the starting point that we work from.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good. So do you cover like those specialty policies like flood, wind, all that kind of stuff? Do you cover flood insurance too, or?
Yes, of course, down here by the beach, flood insurance is sometimes a must for some companies. And the nice thing about me is a lot of real estate agents reach out to me to find out if a home is in a flood zone before they put in an offer.
Yeah.
So they know that, hey, you're going to have to pick up flood insurance, and I'll give you a rough estimate what it's going to be. So there are different types of zones. X zone is the low risk zone.
Okay.
AE is more of a high risk zone. So you're going to pay less for a low risk zone than you do for a high risk zone.
Do you have a lot of people get flood insurance for X?
I get few, not a lot,
Yeah.
but a few.
Yeah.
Especially if they're down around the beach, I definitely offer it. I recently had a customer in New Jersey pick up a homeowner's policy, and they're less than 5 miles from the ocean. They already had flood insurance, so there's no need for me to replace that flood policy.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right. And what's important for buyers to understand about flood insurance? Like sometimes the home, it might be near a flood zone, not in a flood zone, but they're near it.
Yeah, if they're near it, or let's say they're even in one, I'll explain to you what a flood policy will pay for. So there's two big things. One is the dwelling. The dwelling is your house. So if the house were to be damaged, the foundation is damaged, there's money there to pay for that foundation to be repaired.
Okay.
Normally it's around $250,000 is where we start with the quote. Then you have contents, your things. If you can lift up your house, turn it over, generally the things that fall out are your contents,
Okay.
TV, furniture, clothes, things like that, and they could be damaged. And usually we start out at $100,000 for the quote.
Okay.
So those two things are the main things that are covered.
Okay. And what about like sump pump failure, backup, water for in the basement, things like that?
Okay, good question.
Okay.
Because that is not covered necessarily under a flood policy, but it is covered under your homeowner's policy with an endorsement called water backup.
Okay.
So water backup or sump pump coverage is where devices designed to pump water out of your house, French drain, sump
Yeah.
pump, toilets, they back up, cause damage. The resulting damage would be covered up to a certain amount.
Okay.
You have to add that as an endorsement. That's one of the things I usually add when I'm quoting someone, but then I take it away to show what they would save if they did not want it.
Okay. So comparing those prices, is it going to be worth it to them to add it back in?
Correct.
But yeah, I think that backup coverage for anybody that has a basement is pretty good idea.
Yeah, I look at myself as the professional,
Yeah.
obviously with 33 years of experience, and I'm going to put together a policy that if they need it tomorrow, it would work for them.
Okay.
I'm also going to explain the coverages to them and let them have the choice of either keeping it in or taking it out.
Okay.
But at least I want to give it up front.
You're giving people the best case scenario up front. Yeah.
Best policy up front for the worst case scenario.
Okay. Do newer built homes get better insurance rates than, say, compared to an older home?
Yes, because they're new. If they're 5 years old or newer, usually you get a lower rate than if you have, let's say, a 100-year-old house, where a lot of things can go wrong and where the materials that were used back then may not be used today. So it might be harder to find those materials. So it's going to cost the insurance company a lot more to buy those things, which means they pass the cost on to you,
Yeah.
purchasing the insurance. So yes, if you have a newer home, you're going to save money than if you bought an older home.
Okay. Do you think it's pretty significant, like where people might want to shop more for new construction than?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay.
I think so. But then you have, some people that like the older home construction.
Yeah, the style and
So
yeah.
it all depends. I mean, don't buy a house based on what you're
Insurance.
going to pay for insurance. Get something that you know you're going to
Well,
live in
and talk
for
to
a while.
Paris first. Like
Exactly, talk to
find
me.
out. Is it
Is it
maybe
worth
it's-
it?
Right. Maybe it's not that much at all. It's all kind of perception for people.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So that all sounds good. If listeners want to be smart about insurance, what should they kind of look at first? Like, say they already have insurance. What should they do?
Okay, so if you're looking at, let's say, a homeowner's insurance policy, it's going to have the dwelling amount, which is the structure of the house, how much is there to rebuild the home with the cost of labor and materials. That's the first thing they want to look at. Next is your personal property. How much money is set aside to replace those things that you have? I mean, some people always underestimate how much stuff they actually have.
Oh, for sure. Till they move.
I asked them, hey, look in your kitchen, look at that junk drawer, find out how much stuff you have in
Yeah.
there, and then everything you have in the kitchen. And then you look at the living room,
Yeah.
and then the dining room, and then the master bedroom,
Yeah.
and then the other bedrooms, and then the bathroom,
Yeah.
the closets and things. So
Basement, the garage,
it all
yeah.
adds up, the garage, the pole barn, things like that. So it all adds up. So look at that. And then the last thing I would say is your liability. If somebody comes on your property that doesn't live in your house, that hurts themselves and wanted to sue you, how much money do you have set aside to pay for any attorney's fees to help defend you? And if you are found liable, how much would come out of that?
Okay.
Usually I suggest $500,000 as the start. You can go lower, But if you need more than 500,000, then I suggest a $1 million umbrella policy.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot of ins and outs, a lot of things to
Yes.
look at and have a discussion with you about as far as coverage. One, I think you want to make sure you've got good coverage,
Correct.
and two, the cost. So,
And that's the nice thing with me. So I can see all the carriers' costs with great coverage and the lowest price.
all right. Do you recommend getting like sheds on the property covered, things like that, the outbuildings?
They're automatically covered under the section of the policy called Other Structures,
Okay.
which is normally 10% of whatever the coverage is for the dwelling amount.
Okay.
So if your home is $500,000 to rebuild, the other structures is $50,000 worth of coverage.
Okay.
So it'll cover that shed, fence, pergola,
Chicken coop.
chicken coop.
Really? Okay. All right. So that's great. All right. Well, how can people reach you if they want to know more?
Okay, you can reach me at my phone number at 302-444-9124. You can also reach me on Facebook. Just look up Parris Patten. And you can email me,
Okay.
paris.patten@comparioninsurance.com.
Okay. All right. And we'll put all of that information in the description. Is that your direct cell or is that an office number?
That is my direct office number.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And Paris is usually pretty quick about, you're busy, but I know you're pretty quick about getting back to people.
Definitely.
Within 24 hours, I've seen you turn things around pretty quickly.
Yes.
And you might see him out and about at some open houses and brokers opens. I know you've been to a couple events.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, you're out there and definitely meeting with people, and that's great that we have a local presence, somebody that people can call that's local.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I'm here. The actual office is out of Newark. I live in Kent County, and right now I'm down here in Sussex County. So I
Yeah.
take care of the whole state of Delaware, but also Pennsylvania, New
Okay.
Jersey, Virginia, South Carolina, and Mississippi.
Oh, and Mississippi.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great. I'm Renee Edge, Associate Broker with Keller Williams Realty. Put that information in the description below. But I appreciate your time today, Paris, and thanks for being our insurance broker and someone that I recommend highly for our clients. So.
Renee, I really appreciate this. This reminds me of the Just Ask Paris show. So
Oh,
thank you for
yes,
allowing
so
me.
plug for his show. So you also have had a podcast yourself. And-
2016.
okay,
10
so a
years
long
ago.
time ago. What was? Where can people find that?
Oh, if you go into YouTube and type in Just Ask Paris, you'll see probably about 13 videos there
Okay.
of me when I was younger.
Okay.
Had a little bit more hair.
Paris has 2 R's.
Yes, Parris Patten.
Okay, just ask Paris on YouTube. So we'll find some more information there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thanks for watching. Yeah.